Hello everyone. Am I clearly audible? Okay, let me kind of get into the talking mode. Okay, hi everyone. I hope things are working fine on your end. Let me just quickly check if things are working fine on the stream. I can see some people on the chat. Let me just quickly confirm this once. Hi everyone, great to see you guys. So I don't know how many of you have made it through all the videos and the content, but if you guys have actually made it through all of this, kudos to you guys. I mean, that's really awesome. And 60 people already there for the first day. I mean, I was actually expecting things to drop below 20 because not everybody completes the content, right? Hi Vivek. Okay, hi. Okay, we are seeing many people. Sir, paper cutting problem you discussed in lecture 2. Could you please tell the question name and platform so that I can practice? Yes, I will talk about all of these things. Don't worry. Hello, everyone. Hello, Rishi. Hello, Ivraj. Okay, don't worry. I think that's the reason we have a lot of like content that will be uploaded on the like YouTube itself. So in case you miss one day, you can easily cover that back up, and even 2 days as well. How many of you guys are like in college right now? I think most of you guys, right? So you guys are pretty chill with like covering syllabus just before exams. So this can also be done in a very short amount of time, right? So this is what we're gonna be doing for the next few days. We know, right? At 10 a.m. you will start getting the videos, and at 11 p.m. we will have the live stream where we'll talk about the things in over here, some certain questions that is going to be helpful for like solving the questions, and some new concepts that might be relevant. So that's what we'll be focusing on in this particular stream. And obviously the main thing that we are going to do is doubts, right? That's a very superb skill. Like if you can watch the Mcqs problem multiple times and get the complete idea, na, that one coding that I've done in that one problem actually can teach you all of backtracking that you ever need for any particular problem. Okay, so that is one video that I understand is difficult if you have never written backtracking before, but if you could do that, I mean, that's hats off to you, right? But again, we're gonna make things simpler going forward. So actually day 2 is easier than day 1, to be very precise. Okay, so I think let's kind of start with what I have as an agenda for today. So I don't know how many of you guys are like solving the questions and or maybe watching the videos. Some of you might have done mixed of the two things. What we will do is that I will kind of go through the videos itself in the comment section, and I will see any question that you guys have posted and will address them at the doubt sessions over here. So in that case, what we'll do is like if anybody else answers that, well and good, many people are watching it, so you guys obviously can communicate among each other. I will also go through them and answer them in the live stream itself. Okay, is it performance giving TLE so much? Yes, I know. For the first problem, I think you might be getting TLE because it is actually not a DP problem. It's actually a greedy problem, right? The main idea is that after post solving it with DP, you can realize that it can be done with just greedy as well, right? So you can actually write a order one formula for that. How to have an array of 1 Actually, you cannot. So the first problem was just to make is like a bouncer to you guys. I just threw a problem which you had seen in the stream, and you thought, okay, it's the same problem, just code it directly. And it turns out it's not a DP problem. It's a simple formula based problem. So the first thing that you need to learn from these things is no matter what you have as your current pre-context, which means your recent learning should not bias you towards thinking about any particular problem from all angles, right? So it was a very simple like formula based question. If you can jump one step and end step, right? So don't just jump with DP on every problem. We will learn a lot of things. You will learn a lot of things in the videos and all, but don't jump with every particular problem in that way. Okay. Okay, I faced a lot of issues by solving the problems by giving TLE even for order one solutions. That might be due to you were using Python. I think there is small issue that was kind of there, so maybe you can try with C++ once, but it will get resolved I think by tonight. No, it gets solved using iOS base. Yes, that is true. It needs fast IO. like very fast IO. Let's do, okay, I'm not gonna do div 3s for today. If m is not equal to 1, then n by L, or else m equal to 1, then m is answer. Yeah, that is true. Plus the n mod m needs to be there, right? Okay, so we have like around 100 people watching this stream. A quick like on the stream would be very, very helpful to push it to more people, because as you know, we need to spread a bit of awareness about DP to everyone. I mean, anybody who prepares knows about DP and knows ki it's one of those tough topics that you need to cover, but it will help a lot in kind of sharing these more contents, because you know, right, on YouTube, it's very difficult to grow if you are creating learning contents. It's easy to grow if I start making vlogs or a general content, but again, it has to go in a mix. I cannot just throw in just random stuff. It has to be a good amount of learning, because that's the agenda for this channel, right? Chalo, now let's start with what do we do for today. So the first thing that I'm gonna do today is actually solve certain MCQs. Okay, I'm gonna show you guys some questions in the screen, and you need to tell me the answer for this particular questions, and we will see how that works. Okay. So I'm gonna open up, let's say, just give me a quick sec. I'm gonna open it up with this. Let me show you the screen. Okay, let me know if you guys can see the screen. Can you guys see the screen on the setup? Please don't spam a message. If you write it even once, I will take it. Don't worry. Yes, I'm gonna explain the revert back system. Okay, I will explain that. I know that you might have doubt in that. I'm gonna do that. Yeah, in fact, template for Python, that's a good question. I will post this up at some place soon. I don't have a template with Python myself, but I've seen a really good one. There are a lot of good Python coders who use it. Okay, so let's get into quizzing first, and we're gonna solve certain problems, and I'm gonna take like quickly see how many of you guys can answer these questions. Some might be a bit easy, some might be new. Fast IO for Java, I'm gonna post these things. I think this is something which can be actually made as a good template. Python starter code, C++ starter code, and Java starters code. Not everybody uses them properly. And now we get a really different question, which is, which shampoo to use? Chalo, I don't have not used shampoo today, but anyways, let's get into the questions. Okay, let's start. So the first question that we have with us is this particular question. This is the question that you might recognize something similar to Fibonacci, right? Fibonacci series, that if n is less than equal to 0, we have return 1, right? But answer is equal to recurrence of n minus 1 plus n minus 2 plus n minus 3, and we return answer, right? The question is, if we memorize the code in an array, how will the complexity change? I mean, if you had seen the video, we might try to save the cached value of answer. So what is the change that happens in the time complexity? So I can see some B, C's, okay. C's on the chat a lot. Great. Let's go with C then. Yeah, that's correct. First solution is by Hindu Rashtra itself. So C it is, which is correct. Why is it C? Let's go back and quickly understand. So if you have X, from X, if you transition into 3 different places, X minus 1, X minus 2, X minus 3, right? So a very, very simple rule is that if you have a recursive function which calls itself 3 times, in general, you can keep a bigger like order notation, and in general it's going to be 3 to the power the value X. That is going to be the complexity of f of X, okay? That's the recursive complexity. Now when we cache it up, the very, very simple rule that you can keep in mind is, when you cache something, you add the total code's complexity, like whatever total number of spaces that you need, in this case only X, order X, plus now these function calls will behave like a order 1 call. This is something which we're going to also learn in the next few days, which is going to make you like analyze code complexities of DP, very simple. I'm going to give you a simple formula with which you can solve, which you can find time complexity of any code of DP. So order X plus, these are all order 1, okay, for any particular state. So into N, into X. That will be the total complexity to calculate the whole answer, which is order X in this case. So from 3 to the power X, we move to order X. So if you save something, right, just to understand what is the power, from an exponential complexity, we can get down to a linear complexity. That's the power of DP, okay. We have not talked about time complexities in the videos a lot, but this is something which does happen if you do it properly, right? Let's get back to the MCQs. Which kind of DP does states getting computed doesn't matter? Link for quiz, I will give that post once we discuss these on the stream itself. Could you zoom in a bit? Yeah, sure, no problem. Let me see if you guys are able to see it clearly. Now it should be clear. BCA 1DDP, okay. Recurrence CA. Difficult. Mixed opinions. So I will do whichever ones you guys select over here. Let's do a poll on YouTube. Let's see. So you guys can see a poll on the screen, right? Just asking. I'm not sure if you guys are able to see it right now. You should be able to see a poll on the thing itself, on the chat itself. And I can get certain, like we already have 40 votes. I will wait for like quick 3 more seconds to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we will end the poll. Okay. So the way we got it is, we got C, so we'll click C, and it turns out it's correct, right? So why did this work, right? So it doesn't matter how the recursive functions are called when you are writing the code, right? Iterative codes, so there are 2 types of coding, okay? 2 types of coding. You might not have seen this in the videos itself, but try to understand it from the questions itself. 2 types of coding. One is iterative, okay, iterative, and one is recursive, okay. If you have seen the videos that I have uploaded, all of those are in recursive format. Iterative means we are writing a for loops and doing it in an iterative manner. So when you are writing iterative, obviously the order matters, because when you are reaching certain state, the things that you need already should have been computed by that time. I will teach you guys how to write iterative codes in DP soon enough in the later part of the thing, but recursive coding is something which we will learn first, because that's the absolute primer of DP, okay. Next is, once we have the iterative and recursive things sorted, there are other options like 1D, DP, and like other things were there as well on the options, but these are like more about the dimensions and stuff. The way it's get calculated is what matters, right? It's not about how the things are like kind of kept. How are you computing it is what matters in the order of execution. So these are the only 2 options that you have, and in which recursive is independent, because no matter how the call comes to that function, if it's saved, it will return. If it is not saved, it will compute. So that's how it works, right? One more quick question. Somebody was asking, what is 1D DP? I have not talked about this term. That's a very good question. What is 1D DP? And I see people throwing in terms like 2D DP, 3D DP, 4D DP. In fact, I can right away create a question right now, which is going to be 7D DP, right? I have it's fine to start with things like 1D DP, 2D DP, but to train yourself with D's in your DPs is, I think, one of the worst way to kind of train yourself, okay? States are never a consequence of which D are you thinking about. It's more about the constraints that you have in the problem. So we will never use these terms like 1D DP, 2D DP. Maybe it's about the array that we create and how we save them, but we never use these terms for our case. I can create 70 DP, 80 DPs anyways, like at my will. I can just throw in few constraints and it will become 80 DP, right? So doesn't really matter, right? These are very digit DP, correct? That's absolutely correct. I can create digit DP, I can throw in multiple things and it will get 7 states, right? 7 star means 7 DP. Yeah, I mean, I've solved 8 DDP as well, but I'm not an 8 star though. Sad. Fast input is like you can search fast IO for your language and you will get blogs on that on Google. It's very, very easy to get. So this is what these are, okay? So remember, we had kept level in the videos, that is 1 DDP. If you keep at the last part of the final video, I talked about 3 parameters. So that is what is called as 3 DDP, but these are bogus terms. I don't get into these things, okay? So never learn DPs by Ds. How many Ds are there in the DPs? It's about understanding how do you structure this up. And by the way, if once you watch tomorrow's videos, I can guarantee you that you will never go back to these D notations and think about the problems the same way you have been thinking about. It's all about form states, constraint states, and computation states. All of these things will be there in the tomorrow's video, right? A lot of things coming up tomorrow. Tomorrow is the main crux DP learning that you can kind of take away through the videos. Today was more about recursion, backtracking, and DP, very, very basics of DP, right? So that's there. Let's talk about the next problem now. Okay, let's move to the next problem. Shall we? Level choice check move. Yes, that's the ultra framework for backtracking to certain sense. Most of backtracking problems are of that format. Okay. While trade-off generally occurs while solving problems with which trade-off essentially? Space increases and time decreases, space complexity decreases, like both changes. What changes happen in this, right? And I can see a lot of people are already throwing in B and C. Some people are sharing C. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to create a poll because it's very, very clear. Everybody knows B it is. And I'm going to quickly click on, and it's actually correct. Space complexity increases and time complexity decreases. Okay. It's not C. Because earlier when you are writing recursion, it will traverse everything, but it will not save all the things at one time. Okay. Think about the problem that we had solved earlier, right? There was this problem where we were doing a like recurrence of level, right? So at a particular point in time, it only stores which level it is in, and then maybe the recursion stack is going to save order and things at a time. But when you are thinking about, let's say DP, you're going to add more parameters over here, and you have to save all of these things in the while the recursion stack as well as in the memory when you cache them. Okay, when you cache them, you're going to store them as well. So this is where memory increases, but again it decreases the computation because you don't repeat. So time decreases, space increases. That's the general construct. Okay, everybody clear on why this is working? This is like a simple example. It's actually a trade-off to certain sense. Okay. So if you are very, very crunched on the space, maybe you don't really use a DP and just let the exponential code run. That's one option maybe. So space decreases and this. Let's move to the last problem and let's see if you guys can solve this problem. So let's say there is this recurrence which is A, B, C, and this is just the recurrence that we have for now. Okay. Trade-off means pros and cons, like you increase the DP, you increase the space but decrease the thing. So you are trading off between the two. Yeah, so it depends upon so the size of the heap depends upon the maximum depth of recursion. Okay, that's the thing. What is so there are multiple options this time, but let's try to think it this way. Like let's see this much screen. You have A, B, C, and you have a recurrence A minus 1, something like this kind of a recurrence, and we want to memorize this DP. We want to save it, right? And I think the best one is already suggested by. No, that is not the best one. It's less than 10, so we can have 10 only. So which of these things can be a possible way to save the thing? All are incorrect. Okay. I mean, which of these are feasible to be used? That's what is the question. Interesting question, isn't it? Very confusing. And here come the D's. That's correct. So let's understand this, right? So what we are dealing with is a recursion where you have a parameter A, B, C, and we need to cache it, right? We need to save the value. And this takes up in the range 0 to 9. This takes in the range 0 to 99. This takes in the range 0 to 999. Okay. So one way in which we can store this is obviously like if you keep a 10 over here, if you keep 100 over here, and if you keep 1,000 over here, what we'll do is that we will save, like when you are accessing, we will save the corresponding A value in this index, B value in this index, C value in this index, right? But can we do it this way? Does the saving has to be in the same order the parameters appear over here? Does the saving over here needs to happen with the same order of parameters that occur over here? No need, right? Because what I can do is like, let's say this is 1, 2, 3. I can save it at a cache array of dp213, right? I can keep this over here now. I will access it accordingly as well. So it doesn't need to be in the same order. While we are coding, we will have a preconceived notion that this is what we will follow. We will keep one-to-one correspondence so that we don't make a mistake. But even this is feasible. I mean, we can shift the ordering while saving things. It's just that 3 things needs to be done. Yeah, we can do parameters in a other way, right? Can we use 1,000, 1,000, 1,000? Can we use this? Yeah, I mean, we can use it to save, but space complexity will go very high, and this is infeasible to create. We cannot create arrays of 10 to the power 9 size. We cannot do that. Okay. So it will, as soon as you create a DP array of this size, it will give you MLE, which is memory limit exceeded. So never create this large. The worst you can go to is an integer array of 10 to the power 8 size. That is the worst you can go till. You cannot go beyond that. Okay. This is a feasible space in which you can save it, because having an extra values doesn't really matter. But the thing is, as soon as you create it, your code will get MLE. So we cannot use this one. Okay. Yeah, exactly. The RAM will cry. Makes sense. Only up to 10 to the power 6. That's a very good question. You can, inside a function, you can only create up to 10 to the power 6. In the global scope, you can create up to 10 to the power 8. Okay. Inside a function, you can create a maximum array up to 2 into 10 to the power 6 in the main, specifically in the main. And in the global scope, you can create a maximum array size in 10 of the order 10 to the power 8. Why so? Because this is what is kept created in heap. This is what is created in stack. Okay. That's a conceptual stuff. That's a conceptual stuff. Okay. So in global scope, it's easier to create things. And yes, Arnab, that's correct. What you have said is that having a lesser size in the front, like 2, 10 is using this array for certain problems is better than using 10, 2 due to the way the things are retrieved from registers, and like if they are in close by array cells, they are loaded together. So it kind of, I don't want to get into computer science too much, but it helps you to keep the values cached pretty often, and you will get quicker values from the cache. I don't want to get into too much of computer science. Right, that is there. For Java, this might not be applicable. You can actually create almost anywhere, but it has to be in the heap. I'm not sure about Java, how much you can create. I have never used like bigger arrays in Java. I have coded in Java, but I have not created that. No, you can only create in the function itself. That is what we do in general, right? Okay, so that's there. So this we cannot do. Let's go back and see what options we had more. So this is fine, this is not fine. So 1 is fine, 4 is not fine. 1 is fine, 4 is not fine. So 4 is not fine, so option this and this is gone. But what about 2 and 3? So now ACE, which one do you think, guys? Yes, cache coherence, that's the correct name. If you want to read that, you can read up, but it's a very theoretical subject. I mean, theoretical thing. It will not help you in solving any like question as such. ACD. 4 is fine. No, we cannot create 4 because it is going to give you MLE. So everybody seems to say A, right? But it turns out that we can actually use 2 and 3 as well. The correct answer is actually C. And we got 4 out of 4 because I am doing the thing. I am pretty sure that you guys would not have been able to do it. And I'm gonna paste the link as well. Yeah, I'm pressed it. I have already pressed it. No need to now try it up. Just check once. Okay. So let's go back to the question real quick. 3 to the power n was there. This was the first question. We did recursive DP over here for this particular problem, for this space and time complexity increases, and for this one we had option 2 and 3 is also correct. But why? So people are like, Karwali Bejati. But no, it's not a Bejati. When you are learning, so I think all of you are over here to learn, right? So the thing is, it need not be the same value that we are accessing. So I'm going to teach you one particular thing which might be sometimes helpful, is to compress value into a single value. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys a little bit of coding now. I hope you guys are okay with that. Okay, integer get value, int a, int b, int c, int, or let's say from a, b, c I can get a certain value. So let's say I return. So we know that a is up till 10, b is up till 100, c is up till 1000, right? So what I'm going to return is a into 10 to the power 5 plus b into 1000 plus c. Let's say this is the value that I'm returning. Okay, using these three things. Using these three things, I'm returning a certain value. A into 10 to the power 6 plus b into 10 to the power 3 plus c. Okay, let's say this is the value. What is the maximum value that this can reach? So this is 10 to the power, yeah, 10 to the power. This can at max reach 10 to the power 6, right? This can at max reach 10 to the power 6. Not int max, guys. 10 to the power 6. Why? A can be up till 9. This can be at best 9. This can be at best 9. This can at best be 9. I mean, sorry, this can be at best 999 plus this is over here, whatever. Right? And if you sum this up, what you're gonna get is equal to this, which is just less than 10 to the power 6, right? So we can get at max 10 to the power 6 using this thing. Okay, so this is a way to encode 3 numbers into 1 number. Now how can we get back ABC? So whatever number comes up, let's say this is equal to x. Okay, now x by 1000, what is this gonna return? Or let's say x modulo 1000, what is this gonna return? So this number, this part of the number is divisible by 1000. This part of the number is divisible by 1000 because it's multiplied by at least 10 to the power 3. So these parts are divisible. The remainder is nothing but c. Okay, the remainder is nothing but c. X divided by 1000 mod 100. What is this number? So when you divide by 1000, this is obviously less than 1000, so it will get removed off. 1000 gets deleted from over here, and I'm gonna write it in a separate line. When you do x by 1000, what happens is this is removed, divide by 1000, divide by 1000, so 3 zeros get vanished, and then mod 100. So this part is divisible by 100, so you remove it off and you can create a b. Okay, x by 10 to the power 5, what do you get in this case? you can see that all these things are going to be less than 10 to the power 6. So it will get removed off because remainders get removed off when you divide, right? It's a floor division. So only A will be left. So from this X, you can actually get all the values of A, B, C. Everybody agrees that from a particular ABC value, you will get a unique X because all of the digits will not coincide. You can think it this way, that it's like we are assigning A will be a single digit number. So we are assigning A over here, then 2 digits for B and 3 digits for C. This is how we are creating the number, a 10 to the power 6 digit number. Okay. And now what happens is that we can get these numbers back as well from the digits from this big number. And now we can save this equivalent number into a DP array if you want, cache it over here and then retrieve the same thing back. So it's not like you have to keep the exact same thing that is there in the states. Even some unique transformation like converting those states into certain value, and then if you can bring them back as well for using it, if you can do that, well and fine, you can do that too, and you can save it according to that. As long as every state maps to a unique value, and from that unique value you can retrieve back that this was the actual saved thing, you are good to go. Very simply, if you can correspond a particular state to a unique value and save there in the cache array, you are good to go. Okay, so we created this unique function A into 10 to the power 5 plus B into 1000 plus C, which converted this ABC triplet into a unique value. So we can use this in the DP array as well. At any particular state, you can check what is this X value and see if it is already saved in the DP array or not. The other option was 1000 cross 1000. That is also possible. We can combine these two to create 10 to up till 10 to the power 3, and this is another 10 to the power 3. So we can do hybrid combinations as well. Why do so? I'm not saying that we will do it. Obviously in DP we will never do this. It's easier to save it directly in arrays, but in some question maybe the state is in a way that it is difficult to think directly from that numbers, but you can correspondingly convert it to a unique numbers and then save it in an array. That is something which can come up in a problem, right? Yeah, so it's like hashing the number into hashing the triplet into a single number. That's what we are actually doing over here. Earlier we were doing this DP of A comma B comma C. We were saving it at a triplet. We had just written this like this, DP of A, B, C. What I just did was convert this triplet to a unique number X. That's what all we are doing. Okay? Clear to everyone? What we are looking at over here? Yes or no? Just a sec. Okay. How can we do it for 10 to the power 3? So A and B will get combined to get a maximum number of 1000, and then C is a separate thing. We can combine only A and B and leave 3 as a separate thing as well. Okay, simple concept. So what we kind of explored was a bit of time complexity and how you can save. This is all off the screen kind of exploration, but it just gives you a more clarity on picture of how can things be done. Okay, but the first one is obviously most useful. You're gonna use this for most of your questions. Okay, but just to understand, caching is not about storing it as it is. It's about mapping it to a single value and saving over there. But it has to be unique. Okay, that's what is all about. Great. So we have some concept built now, and now I'm going to take certain doubts that you guys have from the problems that we have seen in the first day at least. So I'm going to quickly just open up the YouTube channel, and I can go to my own stream, but that would be very, very weird. So I can open up the stream, and we're gonna go through the quick videos. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through the videos, and like every day we're gonna do this. I'm gonna answer every comment that is there that you guys post up. Where did you learn this? So don't ask me now where did I learn it, because I have been learning so many things across 3 years. So too many things to kind of keep a track of. So I'm gonna just quickly go through these videos comments, and I'm not gonna watch myself though. Oh, I don't wanna watch myself in this live stream itself, and I'm not gonna watch myself in the videos too. Sometimes it's very, very cringy to kind of watch yourself, right? I sometimes find it's it to be very like you don't want to hear your own voice, right? It's very weird in a video. Okay, let's go through the comments once so that you guys are clear on what exactly happens. Okay, so if you have particular problem, feel free to like add it to one of the comments, and I'm gonna go through them anyways. I'm gonna go through the chats after the comments, because comments is the first thing that I'm gonna go through, and it is like, it's like a good place to kind of keep things logged, because on chats nobody's gonna see the questions on the chats later on when their bootcamp is over, but on the comments people can still see the doubts, and it will be there for even other people to see, right? Just like discussion on any particular problem. These problems are very hard. The first one is a very simple one, the climbing stairs one. The second problems was a bit harder. Queen problem is a quite hard problem if you're seeing it for the first time. And the third problem is self-created. Believe me, if you go through this workshop, all of these problems would be at a level of maybe 1200, 1300. It will be very easy for you. It will be very easy for you. I'm going to give you a framework tomorrow, after which all these problems are going to be very easy for you. Okay. What does iOS base sync means? So iOS base is a namespace. Inside that there is this sync with stdio, which makes iostream not call stdio functions internally, and it makes the see in see out functions faster. So it's a fast IO method. Okay, you should not really compare anybody. Like I will not say that I am a CP teacher or a DSA teacher. It's more about like how you have learned, and the way I teach is more about applied things. There are many people who teach great theory. I don't think I'm a person who can teach really great theory from slides, but I feel we are all Indians, and I mean, a lot of people are over here in India. I'm not saying not a lot of people, not everybody is Indian on the channel, but if I'm an Indian, I personally feel that I learned best with examples. So that's what we have been doing in our school life, right? Throughout maths and all. So examples is the best thing to look into. You can see all my videos would be filled with examples. Yeah, I'm gonna go through that. So there is this question: how do you know whether a problem is greedy or DP? Right? That's a very good question. In most questions, you can have these two possibilities with yourself as well, that whether it's a DP or a greedy. What I would suggest is try to explore DP first and then greedy, because nobody can surely tell you that this is this particular topic and all. You will have to explore one first before the other. Always explore DP before greedy, and if a problem can be solved with DP, solve it with DP. Don't try to go with a greedy approach, because what I've learned throughout my experience is you might fail in a greedy solution that you have created on some particular case, but DP, if you're writing, it's more like a brute force code, backtracking code, right? It explores every option, just caches it up, so it's always going to be correct. Okay. So somebody is asking that, am I going to teach something new today? No, this is more going to be doubt session and just discussing some MCQs, conceptual MCQs at the start. That's what we'll be following for the next 6 days, right? Can you link some good problems of recursion? Just Google it up and you will get plenty of problems of recursion. Mcqs. So there are 4 problems that I've added on the training as well. So that is there. Tell me why you're counting 1 to go to the 4th step, and 4th step is the stair problem. That is just the way we are solving. N is equal to 4 case we are solving. Rating, I'm not sure guys, what is the rating of these problems? These are simple if you start this. Control Z. Those who do not, rat in the maze, that's again another famous problem. You will get few problems. So there is this link, right? If you guys don't know, there is this link over here which is gonna give you certain practice problems and contains 2-3 good questions of backtracking. You can practice those. Though the main learning is gonna start from tomorrow. You're gonna learn plenty of things out of the tomorrow's videos. That is, I think, one of the best learnings that you can have throughout the workshop, the tomorrow session and the day after tomorrow session. After that, we will do many mixed practice that is gonna make you much more superior coder to certain sense, right? Yeah, the first problem was not DP but greedy. I deliberately kept it because we are preconditioned to, after seeing so many DP, maybe this problem is also DP. Never do that. If you are in a contest and you solved 3 questions before the contest, you should not expect the next question to be DP, right? You have to always think from a free mind. Okay, so these all comments are done, right? Recursion logic, it takes practice to build. That's why it takes some time. Okay, I'm gonna come to the video doubts after checking the comments once, so that we guys have all the comments kind of resolved up. The diagonal check function is, we're gonna come to this one. Every time writing the base case first is necessary, or how do you think about when it comes to base case? So how do I think about base case? If you have seen the video, I have talked about defining a meaning to the recurrence, right? What is this recurrence returning in English? If you define that meaning, try to think about the case where you don't have any options left. What is by meaning the value for this? That's how I define the base case. Okay. Okay, that makes it weird. Where is the description now? Maybe I have to. Okay. This is done. Thanks for showing so much your support. LCCM, that's a new framework now. The last problem is based on DP on partition to certain sense, but no, it's like a bit of like added twist to certain sense. Yeah, we'll talk about that particular problem as well, don't worry. In the skills, we can avoid checking if time taken is in recursion state. Yes, we have done that in the next video. How do you verify the 92 moves are correct or not? That's a good question. Because I have written the code, I've already replied to this because I got the same. That's the only way you can check maybe. Let's come to this particular comment. At line 38 and line 40, this is the main problem that I feel a lot of people were asking me. Hey Vivek, it's fine if we are going and recursion and exploring this. So what is the meaning of this recurrence? Go to the next level and find out the ways to fill the next to the last level. That is one option for this level. So it's like if you have a queen over here, if you have, let's say, two options. If you place queen over here, you get 32 ways. If you place a queen over here, you get 2 ways. So in total, if you decide to place queen at any place, you will get 2 plus 32 ways. So that's why we are adding the total number of ways for every choice. Number one. Number two is that if you place a queen for the next levels that are there, okay, you have recurrence of level plus 1 defining the final answer. But if you have that saved with you, you also need to place the queen correctly in the queens array that we are doing, because we need to check in this particular part, if you are placing some queen, is it attacked by the previous queens? So we are going to update it in the queens array. Now when you come back from recursion, make sure to revert the change that you did. Reason being is it makes your code bug free in most backtracking codes. Believe me, even if you don't write this 40 number line right, your code will still be correct. But there will be some problem where you will make a mistake. So there are many things that I've learned with practice, with experience, and there are certain problems where some things work, some things don't. So this is what I usually teach in general, is like coding patterns, that write it this way because every problem will work. Okay, that's the thing. Next is we are gonna talk about this simple move. So place the queen, explore, move, and then revert back. Okay. So this is all about this particular one. Bhaiya, meet up. So since for accessibility reasons, I'm going to keep the videos of learning in English, but sometimes maybe after the workshop we're going to keep some chill sessions in Hindi, and you can ask me things in Hindi if you want. But I'm going to keep learning such topics to English to certain sense, so that many people can take benefits of it. I mean, we can actually make sure that like it can be Hindi, and maybe it might improve the content a teeny tiny bit, because I am more I have more command on in Hindi in general, and it might be easier for some of you guys to kind of grasp it. But again, if you are understanding English, you will be able to explain the same in an interview situation as well, number one. And the other thing is that it is going to help you learn more of English. Divide operators just truncates things. So divide operator removes the last, if you divide by 1000, it removes the last 3 digit. That's how it works. Okay, so that's about this particular video. Let's move to the next one. And I'm gonna see the comments over here as well. LRDP, so don't worry, I mean, I'm gonna do all these things. I'm gonna like answer all these kind of DP formats that you have ever like kind of thought about in the videos, in the questions, so you don't need to worry about that. Yeah, in the homework question, yeah, this is I've already talked about this already, so don't worry. This is one value that works with memset. I know some people might ask me. It just works, that's it. Slope equal to 45 degree Mcqs. Just out of the blue. That how do you model it the best? That's it. So I am personally quite good at writing short codes at times because I personally make a lot of silly mistakes while typing. So what I have like kind of built over time is that I write lesser code so that I have lesser room to make mistakes. Okay, I am a person who makes a lot of silly mistakes. So I can solve a lot of good questions maybe, but I can make a lot of silly mistakes as well. That's how my personality is. Okay, but yeah, that's how. So I have made rules for myself. I have made code constructs for myself. I have made my practice as well to include some making the code shorter and not making silly mistakes so that I don't do these things in an actual contest, and that has like kind of built over time. So somebody saying base case miss ho jate. So when you miss some base case, that is a troublesome thing. Just understand when it can happen by just tracing the recursion. So when you are having a DP code, just print which states it's going to, or recursive codes, print the state which it's going to. If it's going into infinite loop, you will see that it's getting infinite printed. So you will understand that it's an infinite loop and you have written some wrong base case, and base case comes from meaning, so that is there. Okay. So that's there, that's the comment. And somebody was saying that I'm not gonna post more comments now, and it's going to be public bejati, or it's going to be public humiliation. No guys, if you are on this particular channel, this is mostly for learning. I don't really, neither you have a big personality as such that I'm gonna like kind of ruin it in front of everyone. You are all over here to learn, and so am I over here to teach. So if you are asking anything, I'd be more than happy on that note, even if it's perfectly wrong. Many people ask me many questions and most of them are wrong. Most of the time I'm gonna add some value to you, and if you're asking, you're gonna retain it for much longer time. So don't feel like that's shyness or like fear of humiliation in public, right? Like to know this channel. It's great that I could help in this particular thing. How much time will it take to able to solve lead code medium without looking at solution? I'm 90 at lead code. That is going to take time. But in DP, after this workshop, you should be able to solve almost all medium problems, up till all medium, and some hard problems. Okay. Do you ever encounter a backtracking problem in contest? Yes, I do. I have seen problems of backtracking before in contest. Okay, so now let's go back to this one problem that I kind of talked about, which was paper cutting, right? There was this one video problem which was paper cutting, and I didn't really give any solution to that in the videos. Some of you were like saying, Vivek, where is the paper cutting solution? You didn't really talk about that. You just said it's not possible. So the thing is, we are going to learn that in one of the future forms. So the form that we learned for backtracking, that was one of the standard first form which we are learning right now. In future, we're going to learn more forms. And one form which we're going to learn is keeping the configuration. So if you have the like paper piece over here, right, something like this, we can keep certain dimensions n, m, and in the question it was given that you can make k cuts, right? So one very cool idea that sometimes works in a lot of such problems is throw every parameter that is given in the problem into a DP state and then remove things. DP of n, m, k. If you're given a n cross m piece of paper and you have to make key cuts, what is the best answer you can get? From this, I can maybe make a cut over here, or maybe make a cut over here, or maybe make a cut over here, or maybe make a cut over here. So these are my choices. So my level is actually the cut which I'm making to certain sense, but as a parameter we can throw in everything that is given into the problem. Okay, this is a very cool idea which sometimes works in a lot of problems. Next, the choices would be where we make the first cut. So it will be over here, or over here, or over here, or over here. So there are n plus m number of choices, minus 2 anyways, but n plus m number of choices. And when you make a cut, it's difficult to kind of piece along keeping track of multiple pieces, right? Because then you have to keep a structure of pieces. It is possible, but it is difficult to keep track of them. What we can do is we can also split the cuts. Once you have cut it, out of this k, you have used 1. So now you have k minus 1 cuts left. Let's say some x number of cuts will be done in this piece, and k minus 1 minus x number of cuts will be done in this piece. This is how you divide the cuts as well. Okay, and now the problem will become that this is, let's say, n, this is going to be some y over here, and this is m minus y. So now it's a problem of n, y and x. The same formulation over here will repeat, and the other state would be n, m minus y and k minus 1 minus x. Whatever best you can get from these two is what is going to be the answer. But more of such DP problems is what we're going to solve in future, and these all will be very easy for you guys, don't worry. This is actually inspired from one of the problems which came up in, I think, a very old educational contest. It was an E problem of brute forces to a certain sense, but it's actually a very easy problem. Once you learn forms, right, these questions would be very, very easy for you, don't worry. Like, just hold a bit of patience, that's all. Okay, how to construct DP problems in mind, how to visually see the problem. After watching tomorrow's video, ask me the same question. I will be able to answer you much better. In fact, after watching tomorrow's video, you will not have this question in your mind. How to construct DP problems with you. I'm going to give you a proper framework, step by step, in which you can solve almost any DP problem. Okay. Where to find practice questions? It's in the link in the description. Okay. If you have registered on the DP workshop, you will get, if you log into the learning site on the Algozenic, you will get the DP workshop in the in middle. You can go from there as well. What is mean by the best cut? So you will loop over all different cuts that are possible. Like we can cut over here or cut over here or cut over here. So we'll take min across all. We will solve such problems, don't worry. Okay. Can you explain the check function for skills question you have explained in the second video? So for the check function, we have just made sure that if you have taken something 1, 3, let's say the time taken over here and the skill values over here, if you have taken 2, 5, can I, like, given some x and y value, can I take this item, yes or no, provided that I have some less than equal to, sorry, let's take this a and b. I have less than equal to x time and I have less than equal to k items restriction. So I have taken already 1 and 2. So 1 plus 2 plus a should be less than equal to x. This is what I'm kind of checking. If I take this item, I have taken these two items. So 2 plus one more item should be less than equal to k. That's what I'm checking. So is the two restrictions in place after taking this item is what I'm checking on over there. Okay. Okay. Someone please share the link of the DP workshop for questions. Guys, it is in the description if you have not seen it, but you can always go to, like, I can show you this. So there is this page, algozenic.com/DP workshop. You can use this particular link itself directly and you can register over here, right? And like this is going to be there. There are prizes and all. And I think I've talked about this multiple times. For those who are already over here, you know how things work. Okay. So this is kind of the page here where you register. Once you register, if you go to my courses, you're going to see multiple different things over here in the dashboard. So for me, I have like multiple things unlocked. Though, like, let me just log out once just so that you can show you guys from the start, right? So I think I've shown you guys once anyways the email, but just to be safe. So once you like register, once you log in into the platform, you're gonna see something like this where you can see the DP workshop over here. These are like other things, like if you have other courses, so these are also accessible over here. So if you go into this particular workshop, you can see the like problems for day 1 over here. I'm gonna add the videos later once the whole workshop is done because it takes time to add into this particular structure, but I will add them in the videos as well and stuff as well over here, so that this is like one place to kind of get all the content. And as we progress, I'm gonna add the content for day 2, day 3. For you guys, the content is on YouTube, the questions are on the platform, right? So that's how you can kind of solve. So you can go to any particular problem over here and you can solve the problem directly over here. Let's go to this one. Okay, so over here you can see that there are 4 problems I've added for today. This is the climbing stairs, this is N Queen's problem, this is some different another version, and there is balance parenthesis. These are the problems. Okay. Yes, sometimes graph can come into play, so we will understand that also later on. trapping rainwater problem using recursion. I don't think that's recursion. Please share some extra problems apart from posted on AlgoZenith. Apparently I have been recently just training people on this, so I know these questions. So first solve 4 problems, maybe later on I will add more links. I can find more anyways on multiple different platforms, but 4 for the day is enough. First solve these and then we can do this. Great. Will the YouTube video be removed after November 10? Most probably no. Mostly no. Why only 10 November valid? It will be extended beyond that as well, but for now I think that's like the structure, the way platform works is there is an extended period only. Okay, in the nQueen problem, reverting back, why not reverting the answer as well? Because answer is something we are totaling and then returning. That's a different thing. The questions will not be removed, don't worry. But ideally you should try to complete it within 14 days. I was thinking to keep a 14-day deadline so that people complete it and maybe I will remove them. But then I thought then that would be very harsh on people who might find this out very late. So, and who might think that, okay, I will do it later on. So I thought maybe I will not remove them anytime. Can any BD problem be DP? Yeah, it can be. How many videos for tomorrow? Tomorrow there will be 3 videos. Okay. But the total content will be smaller than today's one. What is the importance of DAG in DP? So DP is nothing but computing values over a DAG. We're gonna learn that later on when you learn graphs. Since not everybody knows graph, I'm not gonna throw in random terms. Okay. So that's mostly things that we had for today. Duration for tomorrow, it's around 1:30. That's same as today. Okay. These like CACS, maybe, yes, that's possible. We will do CACS, AdCoder, all these things as well. Those are easy. Like once you go through go through tomorrow's videos, day after tomorrow, and up till day 4. Once you complete day 4, you will start realizing that DP is actually not that hard. Just by today, you cannot really realize the full potential of what we have learned in DP, right? Once you solve the problems tomorrow, day after tomorrow, and so on, you will realize that, okay, it's actually improving. Okay. Great. I mean, from final step to final step, why count 1 in the stair problem? We cannot take any steps from there. Okay, that's a good point. So as I said, when this is also a nice point. Okay, if you have a minimization problem, a maximization problem, and if you have a counting problem, okay, valid base, invalid state. Okay, if you have a counting problem, when you reach a valid base case, you return 1, which means there is a solution. If you reach an invalid state, you return 0. When you are maximizing, when you reach a valid base case, you generally return 0. And when you return an invalid state, you return -infinity because you want to maximize. So the -infinity will cancel things up. Though this is general, it's like in a problem, it might be dependent upon the signs of the expressions. Okay. And in minimization, the general valid base cases is 0. And invalid states is +infinity. This is what you return when things get into a place where things are not working. This is a matrix that you can keep in mind. We will see these things. Don't worry, guys. We're gonna solve so many problems, and you're gonna learn these things anyways. So just keep a bit more, just be a bit more, I would say, continuous on the practice. Okay. Consistent on the practice for the next 3 days, and you will realize all these things. Okay, we will talk about these when we realize into the problem, but this is more about when you reach a certain configuration which is valid, and it's the place where you have to stop. Like in the stairs, when you reach the top, you have to stop. Since it's a counting problem, we will return 1. If you reach something beyond the top, it's an invalid state, so we will return 0. That's what I mean by this. Okay. Got it. Of D is very hard to grasp. I think I did more. Yeah. I mean, there are many problems which can be done more easily. I know. Do you recommend us to take notes of these lectures? Generally, I add some notes in the video itself, and anyways, these videos will be available to you guys, so you can watch it later as well if you want. But I mean, if you are someone who likes to take notes, sure, you can do that. Okay. Great, guys. I think thanks for joining in. I think this is the place where we will stop for today. I think we have been able to kind of cover most of the things that I had in mind. Do you recommend us taking notes? No, for now, maybe later on, once you're done with the videos and problem solving. Please do check code editor problems as well. Python is something I think which is a bit more problematic from on the platform. Rest all should work. So I'm currently doing DP in AZ201. Should I focus on no? You can do the if you're doing so. Somebody was asking me this in general as well in the last session, that if you are like in the AZ201 and in the DP workshop, what's the difference? The concept that I teach, I'm taking the courses, I'm taking the live classes over there as well, and I'm taking the like workshop. Both of them are same. The concept that I'm going to teach is same, but it's just that over there I have more time, so I can take more examples and like show you more illustrative cases and how you can solve those problems. That's the difference. But yeah, 1800 to 2000 DP problems cakewalk ho jayega. Up till 1800, if it doesn't really have a constructive touch to it, yes, you will be able to solve most of them. And if it is in these 5 forms, as I said, tree DP, digit DP, bitmask DP is still left. I will give you good resource for bitmask DP as well post this workshop. There is this one which is already available on AZ platform, but many people don't know about it. It's a very well made craft. Like I only created it, but a year back or so. It's a really good DP playlist on DP bitmask. I don't think I have added like 4 sub forms in that for a particular form, and if you learn that, you don't need anything more than that in any DP bitmask problem. If you are still facing some difficulty in recurrences and the formulation of things, tomorrow is the day. Watch the tomorrow's video and I can guarantee you that you will be able to understand things much more clearly. Okay, I'm going to take up this same problem tomorrow, this same problem that I like kind of talked about in today's video. That is, let's say going into the problem of AZ DP workshop where you had TI time and SI skill, the last problem, right? Third problem. That same problem we're going to take tomorrow, but we're going to do it in a rule based way. I'm going to give you a framework to solve all such problems. Okay, great. Okay, that's great. So if you have seen it, that's really awesome. I think many people have not. So if you already know that, do that. Please make more AdCoder solution videos. Maybe you can do that. When can AZ203 be expected to start? I think AZ203 has been discontinued. In fact, I think AZ201 is also going to change as a name, and then it's going to be different things. So like things are changing over there. When you record the course, when do you record the course video? So yesterday only I recorded the today's video and tomorrow's video. Today I will try to record one more day. So it takes me around 2-3 hours to record as well, right? All these things. So very honestly, I have got like if I talk about yesterday, I have got a 2 hour sleep as of now. So I'm going to sleep after this maybe live stream. I'm very, very drowsy today. Doesn't seem that way, right? I'm seeing very, very energetic. But when I'm teaching, I'm generally very energetic. And after that, you will see me finding in my bed, just getting into the clothes. Your age. My age is 24 now. Okay. When AZ301 expected to start? It is going to be in winters, and it's like AZ201 exclusive now. It's not a separate course now. Okay. So thanks for like kind of showing the love for this workshop and joining in. I mean, if you guys are over here till 12 and you are learning these things, I like really salute the amount of commitment you are giving to the workshop. Watch through the videos, try to solve the problems, and I'm pretty sure you're gonna improve a lot. And as a small request, I think I have been this is something I have to ask as a request because not everybody does it on their own. So if you want to like getting more like such workshops, do help me share this to more people, because that will help us spread the word, and like as a content creator, it definitely helps to get more reach about content. Okay, thanks for joining in, and that will be all for today. All of the things would be available on YouTube, right? If it's on YouTube, it's always going to be free. I'm gonna put on free content only on YouTube, never any paid stuff. Okay, no paid stuff. Chalo. Thanks for Vivek opening the chat. Thanks for supporting, guys. Thanks for supporting. We can start CSS DP problem set. Yes, in fact, I'm going to show you that. In fact, I was planning, I'm going to take CSS AdCoder and DP series, CSS DP and AdCoder DP, and I'm going to solve all of those using these forms so that you can understand it can be done. But I will give you guys a try first. That's so that you guys can try on your own. Okay? That's great. Chalo. Thanks for joining in. Will we meet tomorrow? Yes, we will meet tomorrow at 11 PM as same as today. Thanks for joining in, guys. See you tomorrow. Please accept my LinkedIn request. We'll do that. Don't worry. A lot of requests. I can see. I think there are around 600 pending. It's very, very difficult to kind of manage time these days. But I will definitely do that. Don't worry. Okay. Thanks for showing the support. See you all tomorrow, and do watch the videos, right? And solve the problems. Bye bye. Good night.